Yo, what up? I am building a newsletter and I'm going to give you weekly updates, even if it shits the bed. We are on week 5, I believe. Yeah, week 5. Let's get cracking. All right, so let's review what went down last week. Last week was the shittiest performance so far. I mean, we haven't had a ton of them, but if you look here, you see these open rates of 49, 51, 46, right? We're around at least above 7% with the click-through rate here. This was the lowest open and the lowest click-through rate. So then the question becomes, why did it not do as well as the others, or at least why wasn't it on par with the others? I mean, 44% and 46% aren't too far off, but again, this is the lowest open rate and by far the lowest click-through rate. And so a couple things I noticed is it may be the recipe, this loaded bacon cheeseburger pasta. My demographic is probably like they're over the age of 60. I would say mostly over the age of 65. And so I'm not sure if loaded bacon cheeseburger pasta is up their alley. Whereas you see these other recipes are more like traditional, like chicken and dumplings, beef stew, shepherd's pie, more like traditional stuff. Loaded bacon cheeseburger pasta is kind of an anomaly when you look at those 3 previous recipes. I'm saying this for you where, this is something I noticed, but if you're doing your newsletter and you start to see open rates that are not on par, well, then the question is, what changed? What was it about that thing they didn't like? In my case, I think the recipe was a little too fancy. Maybe a younger demographic would care about this recipe. The older demographic may want more traditional recipes. So for this week, I went to a chicken pot pie to see what happens as I'm testing this method. Also, what you really want to be able to see is on mobile, at least in Gmail on mobile, what they will see is they'll see this headline, right? Bald buck loaded bacon cheeseburger. But then also it'll show you like, let me see if I can get a test example here. It won't let me do the mobile view. The point being is what they'll see, like before they even open the email, what they'll see is this part, this loaded bacon cheeseburger. They will see like something else talking. Oh, they'll see this March, they'll see this date, and then they'll see kind of parts of the first sentence, right? So if they're seeing this, and then they're seeing the sentence, and the sentence opens up by saying, have you ever had a loved one that you cannot stand talking to? That's, it's an okay open line. I think it could have been stronger, but I believe when they saw this part right here, have you ever had a loved one that they at least saw this much, it probably wasn't that interesting. Whereas the one that had the highest open rate, right, we have a traditional recipe. And then look at the very first sentence in this one. My granddaughter is kind of being an asshole. They saw most all this. So they open it up, traditional recipe. They see, when they open up their email, at the very least, before they even open this, they see this, they see the date, they see my granddaughter's kind of being an asshole. That sparks curiosity. I believe that led to higher open rates. And so what I'm doing this week is I have the chicken pot pie as this. Who's the worst parent you ever met? That could be stronger, but it's shorter. And they'll be able to see most all that, and I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to play with shorter headlines, and I probably need to make this one a little punchier. Maybe when I get off, matter of fact, when I get off, I'm going to make this one a little punchier. I might do that right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for it and test the cuss word, right? So this one originally said, who is the worst parent you ever met? I'm going to say, who is the shittiest parent you ever met? I'm going to come in a little stronger. This guy I'm embodying will drop at least one cuss word every now and then. So if they get offended, they get offended. But I think more will be attracted to this type of guy. So I'm going to start with this. And so point being is when they open their email, their whole email like inbox, they're going to see the title, they're going to see the date, then they're going to see who's the shittiest parent you ever met. I wonder, let's see what happens with the open rate with that test. So that is a review of what happened last week. Again, the big test is going to be, let's see if we can get this, what's it called? Let me go back to the dashboard. Bear with me here, post. All right, so let's see if we can get the open rate back to where it should be this week with that test of the opening line and using a traditional recipe. Also, something I'm testing. If you check this out, let's look at the performance. They didn't really click on a lot here. So they clicked on 4 ways to reconnect with your husband, right? This link right here that had 5, and then the travel, and then the nostalgia. So basically, if it's your first time seeing this with this demographic, I do summaries of articles, and the categories I'm testing are going to be drama related, travel related, and nostalgia. I think that will relate better with my audience. I'm not doing news and stuff like that because my audience is a bit older, and by the time they see this, they get my newsletter, they've already watched all the news. They're retired, they're at home, they're watching Fox or CNN, whatever it is, and they've seen the news. There's no point in me doing that. I'm giving them articles that are interesting that they may not otherwise have seen. I'm giving them summaries of those articles. Last week, again, it seems like drama, travel, and nostalgia. It was drama first, travel, and nostalgia as far as the clicks. We didn't see a ton. So my thing right here is I'm just giving them, like currently in this article, I just gave them, like currently in this newsletter or in my newsletters, I'm giving them summaries of the article, right? Just kind of giving them summaries. And so what I'm going to do this week, y'all, is I'm from Texas. So you're going to get that, y'all. But this week, what I'm going to do is I am not just going to give them a summary. I'm injecting some personality into the summary of the articles. So I'm not going to read all this because I don't want to bore you with it, but here are 3 articles. And again, you have the drama, you have nostalgia, you have travel. I'm giving them a summary of the article, but I'm also injecting a narrative. So moving forward, when I get these articles, I kind of want to give them a summary, but put that summary in a story form or make some kind of narrative. So for example, in this one, I'll just read you the very first line. I read this article, or I'll read you the very first summary. I read this article, thought about it, and then I tried to get my wife to join me for a dip in the hot tub. Her reply was, "Shut the hell up." She never actually said no, so I'm going to ask again tonight. Now, what I do for the next 2 articles is I then, it's him basically trying to get his wife nude in the hot tub, right? He's trying to get his wife naked in the hot tub. So the rare Beatles commercial from the 60s, I refer back to getting his wife naked in the hot tub. 9 amazing places to eat in Denver. Again, I refer back to him trying to get his wife naked in the hot tub. So there's this thread. There's a summary, and there's a narrative, there's a thread. What am I doing here? I am entertaining. I am attempting to entertain them while giving them some interesting articles. And then also think about what's happening here. What is implied? What's implied here, this is my guy Buck. This guy I embody when I write. He's a 72-year-old white dude, wears fresh white New Balances, wears blue jean shorts. He wears shirts that says, "If guns are outlawed, I'll be an outlaw." He's kind of salty. I'm embodying this guy, right? So that's him. And what's implied here is this guy is still madly in love with his wife. He's trying to get her naked in the hot tub. This stuff is cute, man. It's cute as shit. So again, I'm entertaining, and then I'm also humanizing this guy. And we'll see. I don't know what the hell I am doing. I am just testing and figuring this thing out. And that is a test that I'm going to do this week. The next thing, remember how I was trying to get this thing monetized? So here's where I'm at. Last week we had some pretty good offers, like from Morning Brew, and there was another one. These guys keep sending us offers, but here's the thing. They are giving me offers on a CPC basis. So if you don't know what CPC means, it's cost per click. Typically means cost per click. In this case, it means that anytime somebody, for the CPC for this purposes, anytime somebody clicks on their sponsored link, they'll give me $1.60, right? And the estimated payout was $67.20 or whatever. That's cool that I'm getting these CPC monetization offers, but my list isn't that huge. We'll talk about list size probably in the next video. I'm going to focus on growing the list size, but this list size is like 9,000, right? And so I would get, when you start to try to monetize stuff, I am withdrawing from my Goodwill deposit. So I've been giving these people emails or newsletters that are just information and trying to entertain and establishing Goodwill and establishing Goodwill. The minute I drop a sponsorship or the minute I ask for something, I withdraw from that bank of Goodwill. I don't think the withdrawal is worth the reward right now, meaning this little chintzy CPC payout is not worth the the word that comes to mind is damage, but it's not really damage. It's not worth the withdrawal of the goodwill of my audience. I will start doing that, or I'll withdraw that goodwill after I have a bank of a lot of goodwill and the withdrawal is worth it. Meaning they say, hey, we'll pay you, X amount of dollars for, thousands of dollars for this dedicated email that you send out for our company. All right, I might do that because then that withdrawal is worth it. So that's where I'm at. Right now, let me go ahead and wrap this point up. I'm just going to focus on building goodwill, and I'm going to focus on the content like I told you a few weeks ago, writing great content that they love. And then by doing that, I'll be focusing on the goodwill. And I really want to build this bank of goodwill before I put advertisements in here. And when I do put advertisements in here, I want it to be worth the withdrawal. And the next thing I told you guys, I was working on the third-party ways to monetize this. I signed up with Hecto, which I'm still going through. I got approved by Paved. This is the listing that I have for Paved. And I'm pretty sure that this requires more upkeep on my end, right? It says the next available sponsorship is March 17th. And I think that I may be asking too much, which I don't really care if I am. It's whatever. I'm not looking to make money right now on this. It's paying for itself because of the way I acquire leads, or the way I acquire emails. If you don't know how I acquire emails, go back to the week 1 of this series. But yeah, I don't really care. And I think that I have to keep this updated. And so I know that getting monetized by third-party platforms like Paved and Hecto are going to require a little more effort on my end. But I'm kind of like, I don't really give a shit because right now I'm focused on growth and content. And then when I do that and I do that well, everything else will take care of itself. At least that is what I am telling myself. I appreciate you watching. I will catch you next week. Peace.